Nice timing,
you look
Johnny.
Usually higher than everybody else.
There's a bar in my ass.
Yeah, and I'm in a hole.
Welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast. We're coming to you live from Cole Creative in downtown Wilkes-Barre. I'm Rich Howells. I'm the founder and editor of NEPA Scene.
I am John Popko, and I have a rod in my ass.
So what else is new?
What else?
Do you want to switch?
Oh, you want a rod in your ass?
Do you want to switch, please?
Brittany's first
And
week back.
Brittany is back.
I'm
Boots
ready.
back. Hashtag.
She's still alive.
Hashtag boots back.
Bootstrap.
Bootstrap. Boots back.
Straps back.
But I work for Time Shamrock in radio for Rock 107, ESPN, and Alt 92.1. And I am the Saturday night host of Alt Natives on Alt 92.1.
I'm Brittany Boot. I'm the owner of Boot Photography Studio.
And we are here with Royal Hell and James Callahan of Camp Rattler. Guys, if you want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Rob from Royal Hell.
Matt. I'm Eugene. David.
So tonight we're here to talk with this heavy metal band from Exeter, as well as concert producer James Callahan. So we're talking about Royal Hell's first year as a band, their upcoming show with Killcode on June 9th, Camp Rattler over at the Border Bar in Pittston, and James' exciting new plans for the venue, the local music scene, and much more. So please stay tuned for the whole hour. Join in our conversation. We encourage you to leave questions, comments, anything you want to know about the band, about the local music scene, about what Camp Rattler has in store. We're going to be covering that all in this hour, but feel free to throw in your questions as well. We would love to hear from you. It's much more interesting when you guys participate. We're also live streaming on Periscope on Twitter, so if you're more of a Twitter fan than a Facebook fan, you can hit us up there as well. But before we get into the interview, we have some beers that were just delivered from John here.
They might be a little shook.
A little shaken, not stirred, from Beer Boys in Wilkes-Barre. They have 72 beers on tap, and they give us these huge crowlers every week to drink. So let's see what we have this week. Well, it looks like it's all ciders, so I hope you guys are fans of ciders. Cider Boys Strawberry Magic, Cider Boys Raspberry Smash, which we've had before. That was really good, and Crispin Rosé. So which one do you guys want to go with first?
It's a big old can of G.
That's a big old can. I got a big old belly for a little guy.
Well, real quick, too. Like, I was just there.
Yeah.
I got there early, and now I'm late. I don't know how that works out, but here we are. And I had a Miller Lite and a Cherry Bomb for $3.25.
It's badass.
Can't beat that.
Can the Border Bar beat that?
No.
Sorry.
No. It's okay, though.
Wash your face. I'm an elbow.
Nice.
So, what does this cost a layman?
What's that?
What does a crowler like this cost the layman?
I don't know.
It depends. I think it depends on
What's
what's in it. Yeah.
What's the average?
But you could pretty much get whatever you want.
I don't know.
Way to trash the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There's
I
cups
don't
there.
know. I don't know. But it's like 2 beers.
Yeah, sure it is.
And Wednesdays are their glass night as well. So the Crispin is you can actually get a free glass if you go there tonight.
Let's try that.
Yeah, let's start with that one.
Sounds like a basic B beer.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
It totally does. Yeah.
Divvy up the cups. Who's all having one?
Not that Brittany's drink this.
Yeah, Brittany's and
3,
Jessica's all
4,
over
5.
Crispin
I don't
Rosé.
drink.
5.
Yep.
Six.
Bring it down.
Each have a spit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cheers to you.
Thanks.
Make sure.
Pinky out.
Always.
They also have live music on the weekends, no cover, and half price happy hour every night of the week, 8 to midnight on Fridays and Saturdays, and 9 to 11 every other night of the week. And while we're talking about bars, we might as well plug the V-Spot as well. They're one of our other sponsors. One of the most popular bars in northeastern Pennsylvania with live entertainment every night of the week. This week they have Brian Brophy tonight, Angelina on Thursday, Lightweight on Friday, Dance Hall Devils on Saturday, DJ Huff is hosting karaoke on Sunday, And of course, the NEPA Scene Rising Talent Open Mic and Talent Contest still running for 2 more weeks on Tuesdays. So if you haven't made it out yet, you only have 2 more Tuesdays to do it.
Go see Dance Hall Double.
Yes.
See you next
Hall Double is
Tuesday.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're great too.
See you next Tuesday.
Yes. See you next Tuesday. Only 2 weeks left, so make sure you make it out to that as well. So what do we all think of this one?
It's not bad.
It's like a wet dream.
Well,
Tastes fruity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Cider.
that's the idea.
More fruity than cider to me.
It's the rosé.
The rosé, yeah.
The rosé.
And the other ones are more cider.
you ever had some rosé?
I've never had rosé.
Rosé.
Tell us all about it.
It's frozen rosé, and there's vodka in it.
I knew you were big on the wine slush, you know.
I had them in the Keys.
We've
the whole
lived
time,
adjacent.
yeah.
It sounds
Oh,
like
yes.
something that can be
One time,
Sorry, went off track.
oh yeah. Please. Well,
No, not at all.
Sorry?
yeah, sorry, sure.
Story?
Yeah,
One
let's get
time,
into
Boot
it.
and I were sitting on our front porch, and we were sharing a wine not unlike this. And an animal came down. We lived on Rudder Avenue at the time, and an unknown animal ran up Rudder Ave
Like a
against traffic.
globally unknown animal.
Fully like a bald, taller in the ass type animal. It could only have been the Kingston Chupacabra.
Yeah.
It was a better than that thing running by, and both of us just silently going, "What the fuck was that?" Boot says, "I don't know what the fuck that thing was, but it knew where it was going."
It did.
Really had like trajectory. It wasn't just like
It was like
aimless-
on its way somewhere.
Yes, on the sidewalk.
On the
It
sidewalk.
was a hairless raccoon or
It looked like if a greyhound got like possessed.
Wow.
with a raccoon. Or and a
Maybe it was
chicken.
that thing from Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
the big...
It
gozer?
was a hairless something with an odd kind of like tuft tail. It had like pitted, like it had like a patter to it.
That was bizarre.
Completely.
Insane.
Like, one of our wise ass friends was like, "Listen, pictures or it didn't happen." I said, "Listen, if I
It was going very fast.
and it was
Actually, it
also
wasn't
spellbinding.
It wasn't running. It was like trolloping, kind of like a little.
Yeah, but I didn't even think about drawing my phone out because it was simply
Yeah.
like seeing
It
a
was
unicorn.
it was that
Francis
bizarre.
Slocum, bro.
It was that bizarre that we just watched it.
It's crazy.
good story.
That's an interesting way to
Yeah.
start it off.
Kingston Chupacabra.
Yeah. You guys haven't seen anything like that, have you?
Not in
I
Kingston.
saw a bumper sticker the other day that said "Leave Bigfoot alone." I thought that was cool.
So let's talk about
So anyway, back to what we're here for.
the band. How did you guys form and get started? You guys end of like 2016, I think, around that area. Is that when you guys formed? Or?
I think so, yeah. I guess I'll take this. So I'm going to go way back. I'm going to go into the Wayback Machine. One of the first bands I put together was a band called Emaria, and Robbie was our drummer for Emaria. This was back in the early 2000s. We used to play around here. Murray's was a pretty cool spot back in the day.
R.I.P.
Dig it.
We used to open up for Nick Coyle had like My Downfall at the time, which was pretty cool, and American Liar. Our scene was like pretty decent back then because Lifer just had their run. Break It Ben was just blowing up. And you guys could probably remember it was like, I think every decade it kind of like sloped down, but like from what I was a kid, but like I think our area had a lot of cool stuff in the 80s, like 70s, 80s for live music, live bands. The 90s were really big, but I think DUIs had a big part in like ruining the music scene, and now too with the casino was like a big nail in the coffin. But early 2000s was pretty cool, so we had Emaria going. Rob went on a little vacation. We got another drummer. We had a run with that. Then I was in a band called Medicine with.
That was a great band.
We had another nice little run. A lot of cool. Every band I've ever been in had like amazing musicians. And every band I've ever been in is like really important to me because I put so much of my life into it. And Medicine had Turco on guitar. So then after Medicine ended, I finished college. I started working full time. What happens to everybody? It's just hard. And I said, I'm done. I can't do music anymore because it takes a toll on you because you just bang your head off the wall, and nobody cares because most people don't really like music. Like everybody says they like music, but most people don't actually like it. There's only a few people that actually like music as their fucking life. So you bang your head off the wall for so long, and then I just had to take a break. But Robbie and Turco started jamming, and they asked me a few times to come up and sing, but I really never wanted to get back into it again because it's
like pulling teeth.
yeah,
with you.
it's I'm a stress ball, and then doing music is a stress ball thing, and
Well, I worked with your solo act, the Italian school.
yeah, I was doing the Italian School Poison. That was like, that's nice because you have total control and you just do whatever you want. And it's like if you want to go full hardcore and try to put a record out or play shows, you can. And if you want to just do nothing, you could do that too. And it's nice. You don't have to like, because when you're in a band, it's just like a relationship. Everybody has different wants and needs. Everybody has different view of where they want to go, and that's the one thing that makes us work. We actually all want to go in the same place, which is rare. That's one of the biggest things that bands split up, because even major level bands, like, you're making millions of dollars maybe if you're at the tippy top, but like one person wants to do country and then the other people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or somebody wants to do
Yeah.
you know, they always been itching to do a solo record, and then that splits bands up, you know.
Sure.
But we all kind of just want to go in the same direction, and it's rare, and that's what really like drives it. I'm gonna go all over the place because my brain is scattered all the time. So just
You're digressing
I'm
quick.
trying to say a lot in this hour. So anyway, getting back to it, they asked me a few times, so I finally went up there, and I love singing. So Rob was from Amarea, Turco was from Medicine, so it just seemed like a perfect fit. So we got Devil-Oka off the ground. And Devil-Oka was pretty cool. I think the couple people, James helped us out a lot. That's right when he launched the Rattler, which was, if anybody who was ever there knows, that was the coolest rock and roll bar our area might have ever had, in my opinion, and I know a couple other people. So it was sweet. Devil-Oka just got started. The Rattler opened up, and it was cool too. We were on this like Pittston World Tour for the whole year. It was the Rattler, Diane's Deli, Spurs.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Mike
Spurs. Diane's Deli, the Rattler. Was there another place in Pittston at the time? But anyway,
Unless
All of them gone right now.
so we spent
Every single one of them.
we spent 2012 touring Pittston, and we were content. But James got us Jam at the Dam. That was awesome.
Very fun.
That
festival.
was really cool.
Yeah.
But so we had a nice little run, about a 2-year run with Devil-Oka, and you know, life happens and stuff. Things happen. So that kind of ended. And then again, I'm at the same spot again. I'm done. I quit. I can't do this anymore. I'm wasting my time. Parents are probably like, you know, they just want me to just not do music. Because it's tough, man. I tell you what, like, when you're a teenager, it's fun and cool. And then when you're in your 20s, it's like, you know, you're like, the window's shutting, but you can do some moves. But it's like once you're like, keep getting older, and I'm just going to be straight serious because people need to hear the straight serious and not just the bullshit. It's crazy. Like, every day it's like, man, like, what am I doing? You know, because it's I don't know. I put a lot into it. Like, when I'm singing, I'm putting like a lot of shit. I'm putting stuff into it too that is like, we'll get into that later, but
Mind if I take over for a second? I'll answer the
Let
question.
me just finish this thought. I'm almost done. I'm sorry. I'm scatterbrained, but so Devil Oak ends. I was like done again, and this is when I was doing Italian School of Poison. I tried to put out I have tons of just solo songs. I finally just went into the studio really quick, cut a quick CD just for shits and giggles. Robbie was jamming in Sucker. Gene was a guitar player in Sucker. And he's like, why don't we get Devil Oak back together? Gene could play guitar. You know, I said, I'm down to check it out. And Gene came down.
We
and
got together. We wrote a couple riffs and actual song structures, and it was going for like 3 months before you came down.
Yeah.
And then once you came down, you just started improv singing right over it
Yeah.
without
As
any
soon as-
any lyric sheets or anything. And the dude was killing it. And we had a couple of
Like-
good practices, and then pretty much Royal Hell was formed.
Everybody could play the guitar, but like Gene could really play the guitar. There's not many people that can. So once I heard him play guitar, I'm like, fuck, now I gotta really do this because he could really play guitar. And so all right, I'll shut up. But so then that's how Royal Hell was birthed. I just wanted to get all of that
interesting little
into
tidbit.
there.
Other than the like maybe 20 or so songs that we have like written, there's probably about another 30 that we only played once and just improv
Yeah.
jammed them
Back
and
too
just like
much.
never played them again or could not remember them at all. And that happens like every practice. We play at
Almost,
least
yeah.
one song where we just won't remember it next week.
I was actually excited when their new band came out. And their first show that I was going to see them at was at that skateboard film thing at Arts Universe. Remember they had the skateboard film came out?
Yeah, 20.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Nesk Purple, Northeast Skate Crew.
So I go there, I'm excited, and the sound was really, really, really subpar. It was, you know, and I know the guys that were trying to do it and they were trying to get it in, but the room is so lofty. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
just,
a lot of reverb.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of room
Yep.
to try to fill and control.
It's not acoustically
It was-
treated.
Yeah, it was built to not be amplified in there. You know what I mean? It was built to be able to be heard
Yep.
from the pulpit with no amplification. So when you amplify things, it was real mobile. The sound was very mobile, and I couldn't get a grasp on them. I got closer, it was horrible. I went up to the balcony, it was bad, and I ended up leaving. So that wasn't my first show with them because I love these fucking kids. And I went up to Vinny's place, who's awesome. If you haven't been to the V Spot, go to the V Spot.
Great burgers.
Go to the V Spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go to the V Spot. And these guys were up at the V Spot. I went up, and I'm so glad that was my first show because they fucking destroyed
Yeah,
it.
that was the show at Beyond Fallen and the Aegean, I believe, and that was a really good night.
The Aegean, another
Oh,
really
yeah.
great band. from
Dave
there.
Klein, what's up, man?
Beyond Fallen as well.
Yeah, Beyond Fallen.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah, those guys
it's-
have been
poor
around
Steve.
forever,
Poor
and-
Steve. He almost lost his hand.
Yeah, I think he just
Right? I saw that.
What
And,
happened?
Joe was in the
really
hospital.
sick,
It was,
too.
it was a factory
Our best of Beyond Fallen.
accident. Yeah, our best to those guys. They're cool guys. They actually used to,
Joe was actually in the very first production I ever did was in the
He was
mid
on the show.
80s. Yeah, he's also
Was
an
he?
awesome graphic
Yeah.
artist.
Yep.
I bought 30 kegs of beer. And I was like 17 years old.
Beer.
And they had a truck, and they came down to a grove in Falls, PA. And it was a truck with 3 taps on the side of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there was a stage there, and I booked 10 bands, and it was gonna be $10, all you could eat and drink all weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
But if you left, it was $10 to come back.
Yeah.
And you can camp there and what have you. So people started drinking, and I had different tap handles on the taps. It was all Genesee. And 9 bands didn't show up. But Joe's band did, and Butch was in it. And forget what the fuck they were called, but they played like 6 times. Joe and Butch, like over the course of the weekend, they might have played twice a day or something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, but they did play twice a day, and they were our only entertainment. It was like my first show. So 9 bands did not show up.
Wow,
We could not
that's-
find them. It was like pre-cell phone days. And-
Yeah.
Right.
But Joe Kravis absolutely was in the very first band that would ever played on, for a festival. Now, my first show was in a church basement,
Yeah.
but similar type situation, but train wreck.
So why having that to start out with, what the hell made make you want to keep going and keep doing that?
Listen, Rich, good question, bro. Good question. I love it. I guess I'm unhireable in many cases. I have been fortunate. My job is, like my jobs have taken me around the world. I'm fortunate. I love it. I'm in awe of musicians like these guys. I surround myself with them because I'm in awe. Music drives me. It's what like really blows my fucking skirt up.
Proud of you, man.
When I was saying before about like people not really liking music, like Callahan really likes music. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because it's just like I don't mean to come off as a dick. It's just frustrating because like even with NEPA Scene, you're putting so much into it.
Sure.
And like it's like
I was just
I don't
having
know,
that
it's
discussion
just
last night
frustrating.
with
It's
tough to get
with
people
one of the
interested in
artists. Yeah, it's a
anything
matter
anymore.
of
It's
really
tough.
getting people to come out, and that's the biggest challenge.
See, like when I was a young teenager and like going to Murray's and Cafe Metropolis, you go there on a Friday night. No matter who's playing, that place is filled to the capacity. They can't fit any more people in there because of fire code.
For sure.
And nowadays, you go to a show where like there's 4 killer bands playing, and you're lucky if there's 20 people there.
Right. And people complain if there's a cover.
Yeah,
As if
yeah,
this stuff doesn't
yeah.
cost money. Like it's ridiculous.
I paid $5 to get in shows at Cafe Metropolis and see bands like River City Rebels and the Casualties, just for example. And a little kid like me, I'd have to beg my mom for $10 because we grew up poor.
Yeah.
And like $5 for the show, $5 for 240s afterwards or something. You know what I mean? Like 240s.
how
Yep.
crazy is it that the talent in our area from just Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's a big area, I guess, but like
Yeah, but if you
I
include Lehigh Valley too,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
I believe that we could put our talent up against anybody in not just America but the world, and we could really go toe to toe to them. But what hurts us is this, like the overall the venues, like, and not that people don't try, but people in our area they want to have shows, but then they want to have the football game on, and they want to have people like.
There's not enough dedication.
Right, it's
Right.
just
They're not
like-
there for the show. They're there
Right.
for other
Well,
things.
because even
Well,
the
you know,
places.
there's no TVs on at the Jazz Cafe. There's
Yeah.
not, like now Vinny does it, but Vinny is the only bar that I've ever seen kind of do the sports and music thing and kind of and pull it off really well.
Not that you can't do it. I just
No, I've just
I
never,
don't know.
I'm like besides Vinny, I've never seen it work. If, like at my places or at Nax or any other places that I ran, there was either vintage movies or something that was
Right,
like still
right.
visually appealing
Yeah, yep.
and kind of compelling.
Something
but-
that doesn't
but-
need sound for you to like.
And it also doesn't like
Right. It added to
doesn't
the
prompt
experience
dudes to
though, and
scream
it
at the
wasn't a
screen,
complete
Yeah.
separate
Right.
like, you know what I mean? Because if you got a bunch of guys,
and something awesome happens in the game,
Right,
then they're
it's
screaming
just-
at the television over top of the band.
and
It's
I'm
kind
not
of
putting
distracting.
anything down. That's all cool in and of itself. But like, if you're gonna have a show, the theme and the energy needs to go towards the show, not like there's some places around here where they make you set up, and it's not their fault. They don't have the room. You're setting up somewhere where people are going to the bathroom, walking through.
Yeah.
And that's shit where people think, oh, we're just gonna keep having bands, but like I know everything is money, but you can't. You don't do it. You can't do it because then it's like.
Yeah.
But I know it's tough.
And
One
It's-
one instance that happened to me though was a show with Sucker that first song, not even halfway through the first verse, some drunk chick came stumbling through and unplugged my foot switch from my amp, cut my whole sound. They had to play the song by themselves with no guitar because I couldn't figure out what happened right off the bat.
Jesus Christ.
And then I just unplugged everything and I'm playing with no pedal board, no foot switch, just my overdrive
Is
channel.
this place that you're talking about set up the bands and then people have to come along?
Yeah, right alongside of them,
Yeah,
like
no,
no
yeah.
stage or nothing
Yeah,
or
yeah,
anything
yeah.
like that. And I understand people want to have like shows like at their bars and stuff like that, but it's almost like you got to just be an acoustic duo or
Well,
something
yeah, do what
or
you can
whatever.
accommodate, I think,
And,
you
well,
know?
and you're building a great area for bands with a stage and stuff like that, and that's what we need more of around here. Or we need like a bigger venue like the Staircase or something like that.
Or just like a specific place.
A specific place.
For each audience. Like
Yeah.
a specific place for metal bands
Yep.
and hardcore bands and heavy bands. And then like obviously there's a specific place for
Well, hell,
jam
Carl,
bands
why?
and
Like
stuff
AJ
that.
and Carl Hall are doing it all, and that's
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Yeah,
what it's
for
about.
all
That's-
ages it's different.
Yeah, for all
Right,
ages
I mean,
it's
yeah,
different.
no, I mean, I did very close to where they used to do it.
But if you
called
want to do
Manhattan
bar,
Yeah.
I feel like it's got to be a specific audience that goes to a specific place, and that's the people that go there, and they're there
Yeah, but
to see the
I
music.
think that spectrum can be wide. If you looked at the Rattler, the Rattler did bluegrass to like fucking satanic death metal.
Yeah.
And even like when you guys were still next by the tracks, like you guys had something going on almost every night, but you couldn't get a full band in there because of the neighbors.
Right, and we like.
And you know, I was there a lot.
Yeah, we
in
rarely
Nax,
ever
you know?
tried it. I mean,
Yep.
but Max still did really fun things. Like
Yeah,
had Eddie from
yeah.
an Albatross come in and do a soul DJ thing, and you know we had guys from now Candlebox and Breaking Benjamin, and you know, like you're right.
I miss
this
that
area is
place.
a wealth of like.
There is.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
so
it's
much that
crazy.
comes out of this area, and
It's
it's
crazy.
but it's so hard to
It's
propel the
crazy.
people forward.
I mean, you mentioned Ben and Nikki, but I mean, Brian Quinn from Candlebox is from here. The guys from an Albatross are back together,
they're
and
out-
they're in
they're
Europe
over-
right
they're-
now.
yeah, they're out
You know, they're
overseas.
killing it. They're
Yeah.
killing it again. You know, and yeah, I'm proud of this area. I'm proud of coming from here.
Me
I mean,
too.
we've had Live Fuel. You know, the bands you mentioned, Ben and Lifer, and all the Lifer outshoots.
Motionless and White too. Like you gotta
Motionless
plug
and
those.
White.
And
guys.
it's like
Menzingers.
Benzingers.
Yeah.
There's
Tiger's
not
Jaw.
like you
Tiger's
can't even
Jaw.
really
Title Fight.
do
Title
rock
Fight,
anymore,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
yet we
For
have
reasons, been around
like
for
people
20
Strength for
friggin' years.
reasons. Yep.
doing rock and metal like
Wisdom
on the
and
top
Chains,
tier platform.
Stroudsburg
Yeah,
area.
we're really strong. You know,
But then the other problem is once they kind of make it, then that's it. They don't come back because
So-
there's nowhere to come back to.
Well,
There's a
really.
pattern
well-
I feel like that we all do, and we do it pretty often, and we all name all these bands. And like the most recent ones, like obviously the Menzingers and Title Fight. But I feel like we really like to like bring up Breaking Benjamin a lot. We really like to bring up Candlebox a lot, and like Lifer and these bands. That was almost 25 years ago.
Yeah, but
At
Brian,
this
but
point,
Brian
and it's
from
like,
this
let's-
Brian from this area just
Back
joined
in the
Candlebox,
day.
like, and basically wrote the entire new record. They were not a band for a while. He joined the band, wrote the record, and now they are a band again. So that's different. I know what you're saying.
Like I feel like we always are like, oh, we know that this area has a ton of great people. We know this area has a ton of talent in it, and we like to talk about it, and we like to give credit where credit's due. But also, the bands right now that are working hard
Yeah.
Agreed.
to
That's
There's a
make
lot
it,
of great
yeah.
bands.
That's,
right now.
NEPA Scene's biggest challenge is trying to educate the public
Yeah.
about here is what we have to offer. There
Yeah.
are other bands out there. There are independent bands who are trying to make it right now that you should be listening to, that
Right.
you should be paying attention to,
Like I feel like there's so many
and
energies
trying to
in
get
place that are,
people
like,
to be
pushing that.
fans, essentially.
But that's the thing, like where is the disconnect? What is missing? Instead of like, okay, like it's the venues or, you know, people want to watch sports at the same time. Like where is the disconnect?
One thing,
Is it
one
like-
thing that kills it right here is this Facebook Live and live stuff for the shows. If
Oh, yeah,
there's
well,
one
Rick-
person that goes to a show, that's live.
Right.
That's not
And
this
the
stream,
whole time,
not
yeah.
this stream,
Not this one.
But if
Yeah.
somebody goes there and they're like,
other
oh well,
ones.
I can just watch their show live because there's going to be
Yo,
somebody
Rich,
there all the
Rich
time.
and I
Yeah.
stood next to each other on St. Patty's Day watching Crowbot live, and there were more people watching on Facebook
Yes.
Live on
Exactly.
At the
Yeah.
show.
than at the Crowbot
Yeah.
duo
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it was great.
It's one
Oh,
thing
so-
I don't get.
So I guess the disconnect is people not physically going
People
out.
not
to the
physically
well,
going.
But
making
he
the
brought up a
effort.
good point. The
The
DUI
DUIs,
situation
the
is a horrible thing.
the DUIs ruined
So-
like life because we live in a prison state now. I mean, nobody. I mean, hey, you say what you want.
Come on!
It's,
So when we talk about all those bands that did so well and were successful, like Breaking Benjamin and all that, it was a different time.
it was a different time.
Sure.
Completely different
Yeah.
time.
Absolutely.
So now it's like, okay, that's not working. So what will?
What will is we need to get people to come out to shows, and it's not as easy as it sounds or looks. No
Well,
matter
this
how
is-
good you are or how much you advertise it, it's just like there's something that people are like, I don't care. I'm just gonna watch this video of this dog getting
things
beat
move in
down,
cycles,
and
too, you know.
I'm gonna talk shit on people on
Well, this
Facebook.
this is another thing too that a lot of people don't want to talk about.
Roseanne.
The demographics.
No, let's
demographic-
absolutely not talk about that because everyone else is talking about it, and it's done
Sorry.
to death.
Continue.
Which family
the,
doesn't do
the
it?
demographics changed in America,
scoop.
so it's like it's not no. I mean, it's like hip hop and rap, and that's cool too, dude. I like rap, but it's like the younger kids now. Like I grew up in the '80s, so I grew up when metal was. That was the top. Like the tippy top of pop was Poison and Def Leppard, and then like the whole like underground was like Slayer and Metallica. So
What, Judas Priest?
Yeah, Priest.
all that stuff made in.
But you could still make money off of music too at that time.
Now, I mean, now it's like, you know, the kids, it's those rappers that it's not even rap. It's just like, you know what I mean? I don't even know their names.
Here, you
but-
want to know another thing that really killed it is MTV is not music television anymore. You don't
No
have
videos.
You don't.
Right.
They don't have music videos. You don't have Headbangers Ball. You don't have any of that stuff.
Maybe you could answer this question. Why does radio just play the same songs from the 70s? Like they'll just
On
play
Rock
like
He
One
they,
doesn't.
well, not, I'm just saying, why don't they? There's so many bands. Why don't they
Well-
play? And I'm not saying your radio station. Just
No,
they
I
only
mean-
play like the same 20 songs.
The
Like
hits.
they'll play like Stone Temple Pilots and they'll play Steve Miller Band, and it's all great music, but it's the same shit.
They're not introduced.
They don't even play like the newer.
Yeah.
Like it blows my mind. I don't.
Well, I
understand
mean, everything
it.
is there. We do research and what tests well and what people want to hear, and more often than not, what we're playing or not what we're playing, but you know what Rock 107 plays, what KRZ plays, what top 40 stations play, are what the people want to hear.
Yeah.
As sad as it
General
is,
pop.
that's
That's the tough thing too. Like when we do our open mic, you know, we have people that will play covers, and the original, you know, people who get you know, who do original music, who, you know, write their own songs, get pissed because a lot of times the crowd will listen more to the people that are
covers,
playing
yeah.
the covers
Yeah, that's
because they know
absolutely
the
right.
song and they can sing along, and they'll ignore
That's why
something
it's-
that's original,
It's
and you have that
difficult.
problem too
It's
all the
difficult
time.
for original bands, especially if you're heavier or even like a little bit more like avant-garde like we are. Even though we write straightforward songs and we try to write hooks and catchy phrases and the
Yeah.
vocals were melodic and the guitars are melodic. We're not just throwing a bunch of fuzz down your face or
Sure.
a bunch of like crazy abrasive stuff. Like we're trying to make it like bring it back to the 70s
Yeah,
and
it's
80s.
still
you
hard as
know?
hell.
Well, yeah, but like trashy, a little bit stoner rocky type of stuff, you know.
I could definitely hear a lot of classic influences on what you guys are doing, which
The
is
stuff
cool.
that we have recorded right now is stuff that's like earlier stuff, the newer stuff that we've been writing. We've been going in a lot more of a thrashier direction, and we just got 2 tracks down with the guitars and the drums and the bass. We're going to be recording his vocals very shortly after we get it all mixed and all the magic happening behind the scenes in the workstation, you know.
Got some tasty morsels coming up too behind that
Yeah.
as well.
With me going to school, I'm learning how to record and all that stuff like that with Logic Pro 10 and Pro Tools. So
Yeah, we do
going to be
everything
excited. We do
ourselves.
everything ourselves, and we just do it on our own time and with all our own equipment, and we're trying to do our best with that.
I do know a site where you could premiere that music.
Okay.
I know a radio station where you can premiere that.
Yeah, he also
There we
plays
go.
an hour of original music
That's-
every week,
that's
which is cool.
awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, you got Rich here, who's obviously, you know, a huge supporter, and you know what we do on Alt 92.1 is the same thing. I play an hour on Saturday. It's Saturday night. It's 9 o'clock at night. I'm not setting the world on fire by any means, but
Oh, it's still cool.
it's still an hour of music that's coming out of this area that no one else is giving a shit about. You know, it's, I don't know if you guys, it's like Stay Loud and
Right.
there's
a million of it.
so many bands I can't even. There's too many to even to remember almost.
Like I thought it was interesting too when you guys were doing when it was still Fuzz before it changed over to Alt 92.1. You guys had announced a show and it had the Menzingers on it, and I saw a bunch of comments from people going, "Who the fuck are these guys?" And it just blew my fucking mind. And like, so they know all these national names, these you know big time names, but they don't know their own hometown bands.
Yeah.
They have no fucking clue who they are, and they're signed to Epitaph Records.
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
toured
it's
the
crazy.
world several times
I also
over,
don't think that
and they
people
still don't know who they are.
People realize that, like the scope and reach of these guys.
Right.
I went on tour last year with Catatonia, and we did a complete U.S. and Canadian tour. And the Menzingers were 1 week ahead of me the entire time. And the merch guy for Catatonia was his brother's in the Menzingers.
Okay.
And we were literally 1 week behind him through Canada. Like, I don't think that people in this area realize how what their reach is all about.
Sure.
And what size theaters they are selling out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, they played a parking lot at the Vault like a year or two ago. And
Right,
They play
exactly.
at the Cultural Center.
Yeah, they play at the
It's
Cultural
always-
Center
it's
every year.
always- it's always
it's a
crowded, but
decent
it's-
turnout, but
it could be
half
better.
of that crowd is out of state.
Yeah.
They're all
would-
people who will drive hours and hours
would
to see
think that
these
too.
guys,
Yeah.
and people who are literally down the street are like, "Yeah, man, fuck it, I'll catch it next time." Fucking asshole! What are you
goes
talking
back-
about?
Yeah.
It's
Goes
right
back to what I was
there.
saying. People
I
don't
think
care
the-
anymore.
Well, the
It
first
seems
time I
like
saw the
most
band,
people just
I was
don't
out of
care.
town. I wasn't local. I just happened to be in Philly and they were playing.
Yeah.
And I thought that you were going to the show, actually.
Which one?
you had mentioned that you were probably going to see the Menzingers at the TLA one time.
Oh, I was
And I was
there.
I was working. Oh,
It was with me without you.
Aren't they playing in Stroudsburg? Like,
Oh no, it was at Underground
is it next
Arts.
month?
yeah. I went to see them at the TLA, I believe, and you were not there, even though you were supposed to be.
I was at the Underground Arts show.
Yeah.
So, what are some good things about the local scene right now? Some of the bands that you've played with, any of the shows that you guys have done. So, you guys have been around maybe a little over a year now, but almost 2 years at this point.
My absolute favorite was Penn's Peak with Dockin and Warrant. We opened up for, and that was a packed house.
That's awesome.
I think it was close to sold out, and they can fit 1,800 people in there. And that was definitely the best show I've ever played, at least when it comes to the crowd and the stage.
Yeah, it's an amazing venue.
We played with, like, I really enjoyed what the band that I was really surprised with, that I didn't hear of them until they got on our show, and it was their first show. It was Idle Hands. They actually impressed me a lot.
They're really good.
That dude can sing and play his guitar very well, and the whole band is great. But that's one thing that caught my ear and my eye. It was like, he was just spot on, and he was nervous about the show. He's like, "Oh man, I hope it's a good show. It's our first show."
They debuted
It was great.
a Camp Rattler show at Peter's Wolf, and they literally blew me up. Like, I went from the door over in front of them. They finished with some old Motley Crue cover, just slayed some old Motley,
nice,
like
cool.
Helter Skelter, but maybe Merry-Go-Round, or I don't recall exactly what it was, but it was spot on and perfect.
What
I
else
love
you guys
James
got for
Callahan.
me?
Well,
Yeah,
for
James cuts my
service.
hair, so he always like slip me
Yeah.
songs. I'm like, this is fucking great.
Yeah, yeah.
I played a bunch of their songs on
Yeah, he's
my show.
But in my opinion, the Peter and the Irish Wolf, he's giving it the go, man, and it's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's
'cause
trying
he's
hard.
getting touring bands through, and then it gives local bands a chance to get up in front of a band that's gonna bring some people and that's respected a little bit. And like he has, Cannabis Corpse coming, Green Jello,
Ginger.
We're opening up for DRI, Dirty Rotten
Yeah.
Missiles, which is so because that was a
I
band when I
love
was a little
DRI.
kid that I listened to, and now we're gonna play with
That's-
them. and
that's
it's
gonna
like-
be a big
it's
show.
like crazy.
I was listening to DRI at work today.
But without a venue like that doing that, then
Yeah.
it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And then James and everything he does with this border bar now, I guess we'll talk about it soon, but he's bringing Killcode, and this Killcode out of New York City they're
they're
just
awesome.
awesome rock and roll, and they're getting bigger and bigger. So just the fact that he's bringing them,
Well,
He's been on a 2-year tour, 2-year world tour, opening up for the final Twisted Sister tour.
Yeah.
Detoured for 2 years on his final tour,
Yeah.
and they've been in picked in just every country in the world, and they're the most downloaded band in New York rock band right now online.
That's awesome.
And the guitar player's from Falls. He went
Yeah.
to high school.
See,
Oh, wow.
one thing I'm psyched about that is Chaz was good friends with my daughter's grandmother.
Oh yeah.
So that's how I'm gonna break the ice with him.
Yeah.
Well, no, she's young. She's a younger grandma. She's yeah.
She's one of those gilfs, you know.
Actually, there was fun. My friend Mikey Tonkin was on my. I posted a picture of my kid doing something, and her grandmother was on there saying, "Oh, hi, what's up, Harley? I love you," and blah blah blah. And then Mikey Tonkin comes on there. He's like, "You're a gilf." And she's like, she goes to Jessica, my child's mother. She goes, "What's a gilf?" She's like, "What?" She looks at it. She's like, "Oh, you're a grandmother I'd like to fuck." And she started getting all. And it's funny because she had a crush on Mikey a long time ago. So it's like, are you guys hooking up on my Facebook post with my kid? Like, please stop.
Bottle of whiskey and a couple 2-3 grandmas.
That is something that Mikey Tonkin would definitely say. He's like no shame in his game at all. Like none. He's something else. I love that dude.
I'm hoping that Carl Hall, that's the name of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, because it looks sweet. It looks like a nice
Yeah, well, it's
place.
certainly off to a great start.
Are they going to do like rock shows and
Yeah.
stuff?
He just did a metal show.
I think, yeah.
He did Earthmouth and
yeah,
he
yeah.
did, what's her name? I just put him on a show with Kali Ma and the Garland of Arms, and like a space rock type, like kind of a odd metal, space metal.
And
type.
that's all ages all the time?
Yeah.
I believe it's BYOB.
And it's BYOB.
BYOB,
yeah.
and it's
That's
all
cool.
ages.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm
that's a good
excited
idea.
That's gonna
Right.
be a thing. And then the other side,
Yeah, the
We
other
didn't
side's
play
still
there
doing it.
recently, but
Yep.
I know when we were doing Devil Oak, we played there. They had,
For sure.
they had a pretty cool
We
stage.
played there with Sucker.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, we played there with
and
Sucker.
and like Scranton has a way better scene than Wilkes-Barre. I'm kind of hoping the Wilkes-Barre scene picks up a little
Yeah,
bit.
me too, because it's
and
closer to home.
I guess Pitt's like Border Bar would be cool because they're in the
Well,
middle.
we're-
What
we're
is
in
it?
the
Why is it
Yeah,
the Border
Pitts-
Bar? I'm like speculating on why we call it the Border Bar.
It's two reasons. One, when John, the owner of World of Brew, asked me to be involved with the bar, it was a retail store when it first opened.
Right.
And it was a build your own six-pack kind of place.
Yeah.
And soon after they opened up with your build your own six-pack concept, the grocery store across the street became licensed to do the same thing, and the gas station next door became licensed to do the same thing. His partner was
Yeah.
kind of like
The
disenchanted.
distributor right next door to this.
Right directly next door. So John kind of downshifted. His partner wandered. John downshifted and wanted to
Really good.
change it up. I wandered in fresh off tour, and he had said, "Listen, I was looking for you. Can you stick around?" So it was going to be a temporary thing. I was going to set John up with a contract that kind of within 6 or 8 months, he'd be able to book his own. It would be a self-sustaining kind of booking schedule for him, and. So, we liked working together. He's nothing like me at all. Very little in common. He's not a huge music fan, but he likes what he likes. He prefers to like order the beer and like fix shit, and like I prefer to do the other things.
Yeah.
And we work really well together. That being said, he had already paid for all the letters, and we're on the border of 5 towns. So when we played Word Scramble for a month, Border Bar came up, and it's a good one. It's a
You can still use the same sign
Yeah,
essentially.
we used all
Just
the same
move around
letters.
a little bit.
And,
Because I did notice that like it does say Border Bar.
and the bar is like
The
a
bar
new
is
sign,
like
yeah.
and then like so you just used all the letters.
Cool,
Yeah, yeah.
man. Nice.
That's smart.
And then I said, listen, this is a destination spot. No one's going to wander through Border Bar. I said, so my thoughts are, we will become licensed for the outside, do a banging summer of the full spectrum of music on a bigger stage outside. We'll build everything ourselves. We'll repurpose lumber, repurpose pallets, and we'll build the entire. It looks like Bartertown from Mad Max. We'll build this out there, lo-fi, and just kind of allow people to come through the bar, drink really great craft beers. There's 10 Pennsylvania craft beers on at any given time, and a bunch of. Now we've switched over to all cans because of the outside. So, and there's a service bar outside that will be on Sundays serving Bloody Mary stuff, and we have our own proprietary Camp Rattler, like Rattler Venom stuff, and all this cool kind of themed out nights with everybody from like Killcode, Idle Hands, and Royal Hell. And Thomas the Red is going to be in and out that night. He'll also be hanging out with us. He's a nut job. And,
Which I must say that we had a hand in creating.
that's pretty amazing.
It's just
because-
fun.
That's pretty amazing because his character is he's committed to it.
He is.
And at a certain point, I would guess that the characterization is going to stop.
Yes.
And Thomas will go away. Thomas the Red will just remain.
Right.
I feel that time is very close. Since I'll be in Scranton at fucking 3:00 in the afternoon, and the dude will be like walking down the street looking like
And he's got full armor on and everything,
like fully armed, like fur and armor, and so at a certain point, I believe that he's probably the Thomas that I don't know will go away. And
Right.
I
Thomas
think
the
he's
Red.
onto something though. I think you're gonna see him on.
He's
something.
hysterical.
Something
Like if
bigger.
you have not seen his act, go and see his act. He's hysterical. He'll be at the Camp Rattler Beer Garden at Border Bar with Royal Hell, Idle Hands, and Killcode on June 9th. But
Can't wait.
besides the first show, we have residencies on Sundays for Sunday Bloody Sunday with Miz and Jordan Ramirez and Rich Janoff and Sarah Hulse. If you have not seen this girl, fucking go see her. She is the real deal from Woodstock, New York, or up and around, and plays like 200-year-old Appalachian folk songs. She's just legit as hell. Probably one of the more legit solo artists I've seen in a really long time. And Mike Doherty's Michael Jackson tribute, and
It's always fun.
Sweet.
this amazing 3-act show called Tourniquet, a Marilyn Manson tribute, is doing 3 full acts, costume changes, go-go girls, props, like 3 different records, I guess. So we have a lot of cool stuff going on, as you know, regional and national acts coming through, as well as our like top tier local stuff, the Subnautics and Dancing with Elephants and all the cool stuff that's out there right now. I'm trying anyway.
That's awesome.
Dude, the schedule looks awesome.
Yeah,
Already.
Thank you,
It's
thank
crazy.
you. It's packing in. I don't know if you guys know my partner at Camp Rattler is Rob Brown. He sings for the Subnautics. His birthday and my birthday are July 6th and 7th, so every year we do like a 72-hour Decadence Fest.
I thought you were gonna say Bender.
Pretty much the same thing.
We'll probably be bringing Wheel of Death out for.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time.
I don't think I've ever actually seen it.
You've never
that I
seen it?
recall.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Who's Rob Brown?
Rob Brown is the singer for the Subnautics.
Kidding.
So,
He played my surprise birthday party, my surprise 30th birthday party. Yeah,
Awesome.
my wife got him to play for
Everybody
me.
knows
awesome.
Rob Brown.
Yeah, he's quite a dude, and he's so his party's on the 6th, and mine is on the 7th at the beer garden. And on his night is Dan Avery himself, Sarah Holtz, who I mentioned, and a couple other goodies that he's going to be adding. I booked myself the heavy metal beach party, where there's no beach.
Yeah, that looks-
a lot of metal and a
Yeah,
lot of party.
that thing, that's
That
gonna
looks
be
like
fun.
crazy.
These guys are also on it, but there's like 7 or 8 bands on that day.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
be
gonna be
outside
fun.
for most of the day until our sign orders, and then we'll be
You should
inside.
bring in like a truck of sand.
Well, we're thinking about it, but it's just, you know,
And Robbie can deliver
I just
with
think
the
it's
dump
funny
truck.
to see a bunch
then
of
a snow
people in black
machine.
t-shirts out in the sun all day.
Sick.
I feel like
Snow machine,
thinking
a
about
bubble
metalheads
maker.
out in the sun
Yeah.
is just really funny to me.
yeah.
So they built me a fucking lifeguard chair.
Sweet.
It'll be fun. It'll be a
That's
fun
gonna
day.
be great.
Is that fencing around the border bar? Is that
Yeah,
permanent?
it's gonna stay. It's
Okay.
you know, people usually hire like rent that for construction sites. We bought all new all new draping so that we're not you know, like we're not distracting people from the
Sure.
Pittston bypass.
Crashing
or
the cars and
Sure.
shit.
crashing cars and things
Someone
like
just
that.
drives by and starts like getting like totally crazy.
And, you know,
Like, really
yeah, because
good.
LCB doesn't require us to put up a fence. We just kind of wanted to do that. We also have a big giant swinging gate on it that we can open up and have food trucks and food
Oh,
service.
that's cool.
Just pull right up so that the
Nearby.
service windows into the garden.
Oh, nice.
Like there's houses, but they're kind of like
Yeah,
Like across the
there's a
bypass.
couple
Yeah.
houses close enough, and you know how people are. I'll
You
bet
ain't got a retirement home coming in and be pissed. Shit, man.
Well,
Is
They'll
that
be
what
out
that
there
is? Like,
shaking their
go for
fucking
it.
canes and shit.
Hey, listen, and
They'll be, like, sneaking
chances
out to
are
party.
that Camp Rattler, by the mere nature of its name, will have moved on to someplace else by then. This is a prototype that seems to be really popular, and we're kind of like other people are interested in having. So
Okay.
it's cool. It's a pop-up concert venue for the summer. You know, it could enhance any small bar that has the space to do it.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Can you give, you know, just briefly, you know, some people out there might not know what Camp Rattler is and how the bar kind of transferred into this kind of mobile thing that you've been
All
doing.
right, well, we had the Rattler, and it was a home for a lot of painters and musicians and rappers and Brittany Boot. Our secret game show, Wheel of Death,
Yeah.
and from time to time we would take hundreds of people from the Rattler and go to festivals or go camping and call it Camp Rattler. Rob Brown also called the open mic at the Rattler Camp Rattler. So when the Rattler, had its unfortunate structural integral issues, we moved on, starting to do shows, and it's a gang of misfits. Starting to do shows and events in different places, and kind of being with the nature of the name being kind of transient and gypsy-like. And we would set up and do either a small city within a larger festival, and like those cities might include a couple restaurants and a photo booth or like tattoo shop or whatever. And we'd have our own stage, and we'd be doing different music in between the main stage music. We did that a few times. I was like, man, it's a really fun idea. So the next step beyond Beer Garden for us is that we're going to be doing, kind of keeping folks between Maddie's age and my age interested in going to festivals, but maybe they have kids or maybe they're working and they don't want to get all the shit together that is necessary to go to a festival.
Right.
But still want to buy tickets and still want to be there, whatever. We're going to pick them up in a van. We'll take them there. We'll have a concierge take them to their tent, and we'll just kind of have a Camp Rattler glamping kind of thing where, you know, you have your little address. We'll make sure that you can get as effed up as you want. We'll get you to and from your show, and then on the way back, you know, we'll have a show for you when you get back. And so that's in the works right now. We have a space up in Woodstock, New York, that houses an old legendary bar called Memory Lane, where like Dylan played. And so for the VIP package, you'll camp out in the woods around Memory Lane, and then for a VIP package, you'll be able to come into the bar and be served at a private club. It'll be a private club.
That's cool that you're doing that, especially to like eliminate the whole entire factor of the DUI because.
Oh, the whole thing, it's like from soup to nuts. You just leave your car in a parking lot and
just go
and roll.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And with the
because-
backpack is when you get there, your tent is there, your chairs are there, your cooler's there. You put your beer in the cooler, the ice is already there, and you got a little girl that you have her number, and she's gonna, or a guy that'll run around and do things for you.
Hot little number.
You know? A little tamale.
Hot
You know what,
little.
though,
Well, just for example, I mean, hey, DUI is like I had a DUI and I didn't get my license back for 10 years.
Oh, I
And
remember.
I just got it back, so like that sucks.
You know what though?
I'm not driving now, so don't worry, anybody.
Yeah, but now like
You just get
now,
handcuffed as soon as you walk in.
They'll be like, yeah,
Give more booze, I'm
but
driving.
now we have we have Uber now, but we didn't have.
yeah,
before.
we have
Like,
Uber
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
so-
that's
Like I wish back in the day. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I was a saint and then drink and drive because that would be a lie. But I mean, there's so many options now to avoid that we never had before. So it's like I feel like we should get back to like people going out and doing shit because like
Agreed.
And
But
Uber's
I-
like
can.
affordable.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
it's so cheap.
but I also think there's a certain there's a cutoff for Uber where you know not people like Lisa and David Joyce who are like a more progressive couple who still love music, you know, have their first grandchild but still love music and go out once or twice a month or 3 times a month to see music. They Uber right over. However, I think it's, you know, people like my mom who love to go to my mom's been going to the Jazz Cafe for 20 years. She will never, ever, ever call Uber. And so there's never getting a call.
People in the
So
house.
Yeah,
there's never
there's
getting a call
there's like
like
a
somebody else's
technology
car.
barrier.
Right.
You know? So I think there's an age cutoff for it, or there shouldn't be. There should be more education
I think
with
Uber
regards to
should
the
drive
process.
around, like cabs with like
Yeah.
you could hail them.
Yeah.
How fun would that be?
Yeah.
That
Or
would.
like no one's gonna be like walking down
Well,
River Street.
I've seen that in LA.
hailing a cab.
I've seen that elsewhere where they have
isn't
their
that called
their
cab?
lift.
They have like a hub or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
but we don't. It's not like we do have cabs like driving around, but no one around
But she's
here,
right.
like,
It's not like in a major
tracks a
metropolitan
cab
area
like
where
a
you
cab.
Yeah, it's not like New York
Right,
City
well, of
where
course,
you hail a
there's
cab.
people
Yeah.
go do things in New York City because it's so easy to go
Yeah.
around and do things.
Whatever happened to Pittston Taxi?
Remember
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Or the McCarthy
Burgess
flower
has to come
cabs.
to
Remember
you.
those?
Yeah, yeah.
They're still around.
And it
Are
takes
they?
about,
I think
like,
so.
an
Yeah, you
hour.
can, here and there. Yeah, I still
Well,
see
it's
them
like
around.
it's like
Forever.
Burgets or
Not as
Burgess,
much,
whatever you
but-
pronounce it. That's like the
Yeah.
main cab service, and then there's like another yellow one.
He's a really
or
nice guy
something.
though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know
The
this
way
guy
the
that used to work for him.
Saturdays
Robbie's
He
really-
was
lined up
he
all
was
the cabs
nasty.
for
Oh, I'm talking about sitting next to him in a bar. He's a really nice guy.
Oh no, see, I don't know. I'm just saying a guy that
He's
used
really
to
fun to
work
drink
for
with.
him a long time ago worked with me, and he was just this nasty dude. His name was Mark Splett, and he was like,
names.
drink case beer night, drunk all week. Budweiser 10-ounce cans. Dude, I'm dead serious.
I want to meet that guy.
Dude,
bring
he's
him-
still
let's bring
around.
him
He
on,
lives in
yeah.
Edwardsville, I bet. He
Let's
has
bring him on.
long, dirty blonde hair. He was wearing like a jean jacket that was like all stained from oil, and he wasn't even a mechanic or nothing. And he had all his teeth were like rotted out of his head. And he looked really yellow, like palish, like he had jaundice or something, and his eyes were always like
Oh, they
really
did.
weird. Yeah, get my baby back next week. his kid got taken away from children and youth, and him and his wife were like half retarded. His wife used to call, she'd be like, hello, I'm wondering if Mark Splett is there or if he's over the road. Because he was a driver for our auto part company. And we'd be like, no, he's not here. And when he'd get back, Mark, call your wife. He'd call, what do you want? I don't care, I'm working. Tell that bitch fuck off.
That reminds me of your prank phone calls.
Well, yeah, I got a little bit from him with that.
Yeah.
He was a trip to work with. He was such a, oh my God, every single day. He was just, you could just laugh at him. Without even him knowing you're laughing at him.
You know, speaking of like every single day, when I get into this part of town, I never not go to the anthracite. It's like the fucking cantina from Star Wars.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like if you walk in that back bar, like in that store next door.
I was
Go
never in the
all
back
the way in the
of it.
back of the bar.
Oh wait, yes I was. No,
Oh, that
no,
area.
I
There
remember
was a
seeing
dude
some
like
of the
he reached for
creatures
two
there.
beers. He was like this, and his third arm was like, hey, what's going on? Fucking not kidding you, man. It's a freak show in there. I love it. I guess like you could, and on your way to the
Maybe you
bar.
do Camp Rattler pop-up in there.
I do my best to stay out of that place.
gonna get-
You're
I'm
going in.
I'm gonna get Brown like
Get
a
some fucking
guest
steaks
bartending
after
job
this.
there.
Eat a horse. I'll have a horse steak.
I didn't bring
Horse
my
steak.
wallet.
Horse steak.
Then who are you? What are you doing here? He literally said a fucking word all night.
Regretting his life choices.
I don't
That's what he's
speak,
doing.
Oh, baby.
All he does is play bass.
You just
Well,
lay
that's what
it-
I was
he's in
saying
the
earlier
pocket.
when they were like, "How many people?" I'm like, "Well, I think they're probably just bringing two of them. Like, three of them kind of talk. One cat doesn't talk. We kind of like, you know." And just as you guys poked around the corner, he was like, "What do you mean he doesn't talk?" I'm like, "I never really hear him talk."
I got nothing to say.
He's so smart and he's so funny too.
Well, when he does talk, it's super sarcastic and funny.
Yep.
However, like,
He's going to be like a Silent Bob
I
type.
love Davey.
Where the time that he does
you know,
talk,
you
you're
sound
like,
like a fucking Jedi.
yeah.
Maybe that was my plan, man.
There you go.
Silent Dave.
I'll tell you what, that Cider Boys Strawberry Magic was pretty good.
Yo,
That was good.
it
Yeah,
really
nice.
good.
And the
I'm a fan of the Raspberry
was good,
Smash.
too. They were
was
both
really
good.
The Crispin Rose was a little soft for me.
Yeah, it was.
Tasted like,
sure.
like the toast at a bad wedding.
right.
Yeah, it was okay. It let me down quite a bit. I was excited for that because I heard all the rage is the rosé these days.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a new
this
trend now.
Yeah,
we
like
had-
I
wine
think Cider
rosé.
Boys does have their own rosé as well
The
now.
second one
We,
was.
we have a rose. We have like the Angry Orchard or whatever.
That's what it is. I think
That's
it's Angry
right.
Orchard.
Yeah.
I think
That was a little
alright,
more
well,
winey.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
more
it's
more wine. I had that one
The cider
before.
one was
Yeah.
good. The second one was a little tart. And
that was the raspberry.
No,
one.
the second one was strawberry.
Second one was a strawberry.
Yeah, it was a little tart.
I like that
Yeah,
one.
It was good. It made me like.
Yeah, like eating a Sour Patch Kid.
pretty good. Crispy
I've been drinking a lot of
rose.
cider lately.
Rosé.
I'm not a big cider fan. I went to a cider fest. That was like too much.
I
It was like cider.
I went to a wedding
cider,
at a cidery
cider. I'm like,
in Lancaster. Like we went to a wedding. My ex and I went to a wedding at a cidery,
Excuse me.
and it was pretty awesome. They had like 15 different ciders, but they offered like maybe 8 of them for the wedding. That was a train wreck.
So one of the things you guys had mentioned, so there's some of your music is online now that you can listen to, but it's older stuff. You guys are working on new stuff or whatever. Can you talk a little bit about the direction that you guys are going now, and you know what are inspiring some of these songs? What are you trying to get out there?
Well, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Like I said, when we first got together, we were kind of building it back off of Devil Oka, and Devil Oka was, I guess, like psychedelic hard rock, bluesy hard rock, psychedelic.
The Colt.
Yeah, Colt's one of my favorite bands. Robbie's a big, like, classic rock, 70s hard rock. But I think with adding Gene into the mix, Gene, in my opinion, Gene's like comes with a lot of like metal grooves and just a metal taste.
Well, some of
playing.
my biggest influences are Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Megadeth, Metallica, like Guns N' Roses, and you know I have some more avant-garde stuff. Like I like the Mars Volta, I like Dream
my oldest
Theater.
memory
You
of
know, yeah, oldest memory of me when I met you was in Bloomsburg,
Screaming the Mars Volta.
screaming the Mars
We
Volta at
were
like
like teenagers still.
yeah, it was like me, Danny, Ashley,
Ryan.
Victor, and we were like
We like fought, like physically fought, I think. Like for fun.
yeah, that was a long time ago.
Not
I think I was like 19
not like
years
seriously.
old or something.
I think we were
that.
like wrestling.
No.
We were like wrestling and screaming Mars Volta songs like
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, that was
But
a
when,
fun time.
when I was a little kid,
the fuck?
Metallica,
Yeah.
Megadeth, Slayer, that was all my favorite shit, but I never, you have to be like a pretty good guitar player to like go into those territories, you know what I mean? Those dudes are not just like playing chords, like all that alternative rock that came out and stuff, like almost anybody could go and do it because they took solos out. There was no more soloing, so like anybody could strum chords and stuff, so when Gene kind of stepped up and was playing some of this shit, and these guys are like just solid, heavy rhythm, it was like, fuck, we could do this, and we started just kind of messing around, and we're like, people were like, some people said like, dude, you sound like old Metallica and like this and that, and like it's like, damn. So like, I think it just was kind of this natural progression that we've been kind of stretching into this, but like I don't want to go too far in there because then you kind of not that it's a bad thing, but then you kind of pigeonhole yourself, and I kind of like that we stay loose. Like we wrote a newer song called Risen, and that's back to like our bluesy rock.
Yeah, it's like a bluesy. It's like almost like a stripped down
I like the
Priest
Doors.
and Sabbath.
Doors is one of my favorite bands, so I kind of try to.
Yeah, I definitely got some Sabbath vibes from some of your stuff that you have online.
Yeah, like Wicked World, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But see, I also the reason why Matt speaks so highly of my guitar playing is because all the covers that I've learned. That helped me get to where I'm at, and that's just. I was drilled in my head, like, if you want to be a good guitar player, take one song, learn front to back rhythms, and then if you want to learn the solos, learn them right, learn them note for note. Once you get them comfortable, if you want to do a little improv in scale, or if you want to add your own flash to it, go ahead, but just don't take away from the song.
We don't really have anything recorded, like the stuff we have is good. Davey recorded a lot of our first stuff, and Davey's amazing.
Absolutely.
And now Gene's starting to work on some stuff, but I'm kind of hoping at some point, like, we could work with a producer, because I'm not gonna lie, people don't realize, like,
You know that's
like,
what I'm going to school for,
I
right?
know, but I'm saying, like,
Music production.
like, people don't realize that if you work with a producer, they could take a band, like, we have some raw talent. We're not the greatest thing in the world, but we're pretty solid, and we got some raw talent. But if a real deal producer worked with us, they could really take that to the next level.
Yeah.
But,
Somebody who has the experience.
and I
has
don't
the
want to. I don't
equipment.
want to pay the money to go to a local studio. There's a lot of great local studios, but it's like a lot of money, a couple $1,000s, and then a lot of the times you're just kind of rushed through it, because it's expensive. So we're trying to
You
do
pay
it
by the hour, dude.
We're trying to do it ourselves, and we're coming up with like okay results, but then it takes a lot longer because then we have to dump it all on them to be mixing it, and that's
Yeah. We have our lives too. That's not our job.
so it's
not-
tough.
yeah.
I think one of the things hurting us right now is we don't have a lot of stuff recorded, because we could easily like record demo stuff at the practice room, or we could just kind of do quick mixes. But I tell them all the time, like I was saying earlier with being older, like we could easily dump music out, but it's just subpar. It's like, all right, it's good, but like to really even do this,
it's one
it has
thing-
to be like it has to be that next level. And I don't know if we're gonna get there, but that's the plan. Like we gotta take it to the next level.
Well, in my opinion, it's one thing to use like a handheld device, like especially like a cell phone, just to record your practices to see like how your song structures sound, but that doesn't cut it. Like an iPhone will record really well, but it still just doesn't cut it because it can't take the frequencies with the microphone. You need good microphones to
I think
record.
a lot of on-site bands and a lot of independent bands make the mistake of loading a lot of shitty content online.
Yep.
And then folks like me or Vinny or Peter are trying to decipher through all this horrible content, what's worth, like,
Sure.
Because at first glance, you might be like, oh, I'm not booking this fucking band.
Yeah, because you can't
Because
tell
it
how
sounds
they
horrible,
really
but
sound.
they could be great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
We
think
try to do
It's-
that. We
it's-
try to,
it's-
like,
yeah.
what we do put out, at least.
Yeah, I
it's,
think
It sounds
if any
professional.
advice, from this side of it, to bands out there, please weed through your horrible content and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Take it down.
Yeah.
It's not doing you any
Sure.
any great favor to have this body of work that maybe only a quarter of is.
Now that it's so easy to dump stuff on the internet's great, but it's so polluted with you. If you're not going to put something out there,
Well,
that's
in many
really-
cases, people record you and then throw it up there.
Well,
But
yeah,
they're
that's
definitely going
one
to tag
thing
you
that-
in it, so you have the
Yeah.
opportunity to get on top of it
Sure.
and ride roughshod over what you want the world to like identify you by.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Well, as a promoter, what are you looking for in terms of booking bands? Like, what makes you
Well,
decide I'm going to pick this guy over this guy?
Professional attitude. Just their online presence. Recently when we announced that Border Bar and Camp Rattler were going to be getting together, for a semi-permanent thing, we're going to do the pop-up. I put up the Border Bar Facebook page, and clearly a few times on both Camp Rattler, my personal page, and the Border Bar page, it says there'll be no booking. We're going to accept no emails coming through to the Border Bar page regarding booking, because all booking's going to come through this page, and then put a link there, and just kind of made it easy for everybody. Well, of course, there's this one dude who writes, "My band wants to play your place. Here's the name of our band." It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. What date could you have?
Pretty
So
forward.
I copied and pasted the announcement. So he writes asshole, and then meets me on the Camp Rattler page. Hey, what's going on? My band,
Actually.
So he said asshole, and then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
asshole. All right.
Love the guy.
So the guy was awesome. He had like I'll tell you about him in a minute. So he goes to Camp Rattler and he says the same thing. I said, hey, listen, man, we were checking you guys out. We just went to your page. I noticed that the last show you played was over a month ago in Allentown. Where are you guys from? He said Nanacoke. I said, okay, did you have a big Nanacoke crowd follow you to Allentown for this show? He's like, no, it was a benefit for diabetes. And I said, okay, well, that's cool that you do benefits. So have you had any paying gigs closer to Nanacoke? And he said, no, our next gig is at the Oak Street Express. That joint at the end of June. I said, so you took 2 months off? You guys writing a record or anything? And he said, no. Why? I said, because you're asking for a job, bro. And the fact of the matter is that, like, I have certain criteria for hiring bands, and someone who's not active online, someone who doesn't play regular shows, someone who doesn't get paid to play shows, generally, are either like a non-professional, non-full-time band, which is fine if you're a part-time band like these guys. But these guys are pro as hell. You know what I mean? The promotional machine is enormous. They show up ready to rock. They've never come to my place like half-assed or drunk or maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Come on.
But the fact of the matter is, like the goods outweigh the bad. So this guy is like, it's promoters like you who are going to keep people from getting jobs. I said, promoters like me? I'm like, I've produced over 7,000 live performances in this fucking area. Like, truly. Like, not like that's probably on the downside of it. I said, what are you talking about? I've owned all ages clubs. I've owned exclusive rock clubs. I said, you're not playing.
Right.
You're not playing, so why do you want me to hire you? And he had his price there and everything. I'm like, you expect me to pay this price, but you're not bringing anything to the table.
Right.
You don't have anything to offer me. So he said, well, I'm sure your overestimation of your strip mall bar is going to be blah blah blah. I said, well, listen here. Why don't you be my guest and come to the opening night? I said, there's a band in your genre. They're called Killcode. The guitar player's from this area. These are bands that are doing things. This is a band, and the two bands that are playing with them are local bands who are also, in my opinion, doing things. So please be my guest. Bring somebody. Come and see 3 great rock bands. And he said, I might just do that. I'm like, please do, because you'll see what bands I pay. You'll see what bands that I'm willing to pay, and then maybe your horrific band. I'm sorry.
Yeah, chances are he's
But
not
But it's
gonna show.
I hate saying that. It's horrible.
But that's generous considering most people just after the first 2 sentences would have been like, all right, fuck off, see you later.
I felt like he was like brave in that he wanted to continue to engage.
Right.
However, the
It's
fact
just not like.
not professional.
You played a diabetes benefit, which is like really noble, a month and a half ago, and then in almost 2 months later, you're going to play another show. So why are you sweating me, thinking that you could just like, what date you give me? I'll start. You go, what date will you give me? I'm going to start promoting tomorrow. I said, you can't have a date.
It's somebody that obviously doesn't have experience.
Yeah,
with,
you
like-
can't have a
You
date.
know what you should
So
do with
then
that?
I clicked a picture so that I could get the picture in our instant chat. He was awesome. I tell you, he was awesome. He looked like one of the dudes from Fubar, one of those metal fake the spoof movies.
Yeah.
He had a handlebar mustache,
Was he older?
a little bit older. Yeah.
I had a conversation with him, I think, before.
I like that you gave him a voice. You gave him a little
Do you
voice.
still have
Even though
that-
you couldn't hear him, you gave
Yeah.
him a voice of how he would sound.
James, you still have the
He
conversation.
sounded like the guy looks from Fubar.
You should send that to Glenn Fricker for Stupid Musician Text. He does it like once a month, and it's on YouTube. He's got a really nice channel. It's called Spectrum
He was
Sound
just really
Studios. Some of the shit on there is
was
like
very
I know a
precision
press
and-
guy who does something
and
very
really
similar.
insulting.
He has
said a lot of
blog
horrible
that
things right to my face.
some of it is funny as hell. The way these people communicate with each other, and then they don't even know how to speak the English
Right.
language.
Type it in here because I'll hit my message bar and see if it's the same person.
Here, I'll type the name of this guy.
while you're doing that, I'll read some comments that we had earlier. I'll try to get to as many as I can. We did have a lot of comments tonight, so thank you all for engaging and doing that. The last episode we had barely any, so it's good. It's cool that we have a whole bunch this time. Tom Sigurdsson, who is Thomas the Red, said, NEPA, come for the alcoholism, stay for the low-paying jobs. He had also said something else. I want to come to your show, but Storage Wars is on. Like he was kind of keeping up with the conversation as we were doing it. It's it's a small town mentality. Oh God, I have to drive 10 minutes. That kind of stuff. So for sure, there's definitely a lot of that. Vinny actually chimed in. He had when we were talking about what people listen to and that sort of thing. So the busiest 4 hours of the V Spot are during karaoke on Sunday nights. 80% of the people in a room never come on a Friday and Saturday to see live bands, and the average age of those folks is 21 to 25. The ones who could be making the scene great again, the young and wild ones, don't give a shit about rock and roll.
Right. Absolutely right.
Absolutely.
They also don't drink. I don't think. I feel like they don't.
No,
They don't party. Have a good time.
No, they
No,
don't
they
party.
eat Tide
Drinking,
Pods.
the drinking trend has changed.
has.
The day of like having $30 in your pocket and trying to figure out your cover, maybe your merch, and how many cheap beers or how many what are the most powerful drinks that'll get you the most step up is gone. Like going out and getting 2 really great craft beers for $8 or $9 each, and staying with below your, and then drinking water until your legal alcohol limit comes back down to a driving a legal driving level is really the trend.
Right.
With the youth market, without a doubt. 21 to 30 is definitely not power drinking.
Well, you can't go out and just have a good time. Now half of your thought process has to be, all right, I gotta maintain, which is nice, but that's back in the day you could go out and just have fun because it was free.
Well, the staircase
kind
it
of
serves you a
country, and
whole
could go
bottle
and
of
have
Jack
fun.
Daniels.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
the tolerance of the
But
bars.
now
and
you gotta
clubs
be just am
was
I
a
gonna
lot
get
different.
arrested? I can't, you know what I mean? And that's
Bars
just
are
puts
held
that just
liable
puts,
now.
People used to
Yeah.
drive
Yep.
riding lawnmowers to Nax by the tracks.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I
True
used to
story.
ride my skateboard there or walk.
Yo, Amanda Malley got pulled over 3 times leaving there on a BMX bike.
Wow.
Because the cops used to just hate us, and they'd be waiting,
Yeah,
in our
they'd
own
wait,
parking
yeah.
lot, be waiting across the street.
She's lucky she didn't get a BUI because my cousin Heavy D, he got a BUI before. He did.
Well, Shamrock got
Yeah.
a Shamrock got a walking while intoxicated
it's-
leaving Nax.
but,
Yeah.
Who
That's-
Shamrock will be in town soon. If anybody knows the
Oh, God.
It's a true story. He's coming to stay one night with Knack and one night with me.
But yeah, that's I don't know.
So cute.
Shelley brought up a good point as well. Thank you, by the way, for I used your picture for.
Shelley took
Yeah,
Some
she
good
got
photos
some
of us.
nice pictures of us. Man.
She said there are too many bars. Every bar has live music every weekend. I know more musicians than fans. The fans are too spread out.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
good
a
point
great
too.
point.
Each bar should have its own audience that that's what people go to listen to.
Well, it is kind of like that though. I've seen the clicks.
Yeah, it is kinda
I've
like
seen
that.
the clicks. There's a click at the V Spot. There's a click at the
Yeah.
Irish Wolf. There's a click at,
Well, the
at the
Jazz
Bog.
Cafe has
There's a click
it
at the
because
Jazz.
it's all just the hippie
Jam
jam
band,
band.
yeah.
Yep.
Which
It works there.
Brittany's fault.
And then
It's not, I tried to switch it up a little bit when I was there.
At the Rattler
Yeah.
or Camp Rattler
Like an
shows,
actual- we put up actual
it's a
jazz
click too.
band
All the
there.
metalheads are at those shows, and it's been that way forever. You can't really do anything
Where?
about it. At the Rattler or at Nax,
yeah.
But I guess there's a couple there because, like I said, we do more rootsy stuff.
Well,
and-
yeah,
and
well,
we do,
absolutely, too.
And you're right. But there are a couple different
Yeah.
gangs of people that come through.
And hey, birds of a feather flock together. You can't really get away from that.
Steve Howells, who I'll refer to as Uncle Steve, said, "Hi, Royal, Hal, and James. Will there be a merch table on June 9th? And do you guys have any favorite cover songs you like to play?"
We do a really cool cover of Uriah Heep's Gypsy.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
we got Twisted Sister, Burn in Hell, and Guns N' Roses. It's So Easy. I like to play that one a lot. We haven't even really practiced our covers, though.
It comes down to time too. It's like, how you have these guys all work. I work full time, and it's like it sucks because you end up doing the band part time, and there's only so much time in the day.
Right.
And learning covers takes time. And I've always been a fan of just writing original music, you know, because covers are great and they could definitely open some doors for you, but at the end of the day, I mean, you could play the coolest covers in the world and the best covers in the world, but they're not your songs, so you can't really stand on them after so long, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
I always talk a lot of negatives, but our scene right now, I think, is a good crossroads of getting better. Scranton has a really cool scene. They have they have a ton of little bars that have shows, so I feel like there is really a scene out there.
Nobody ever mentions what, like Brian Craig and those cats up there at the Bog do, because they kind of pick and choose and choose their battles where they do shows. They'll wait for something really interesting and really great, like Hanging Cupcakes or something else, to be available, and then Brian will do a really great show. And every show that I've ever been to at the Bog is straight to those bathrooms.
Yep.
Packed straight back to those bathrooms.
For sure.
So it's those alternative venues who are doing the one-offs who are really like helping enrich the scene as well.
The Keys too, very important little place.
Jessica Kelsey over there is doing a great job with the
And
Keys.
you know, I mean, they're doing a 3-day festival coming up
what
in that
Jane-
little place.
And
that
what
they
Jane
have
did
there.
with all the pop-up stuff and bringing
that was
those
great,
from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and all over the place, you know, into the peculiar stuff.
I'm
Sure.
jealous. Scranton has a nice little scene. I wish Wilkes-Barre did, you know. But the Jazz Cafe is all hippie jam band stuff, which is awesome in that world.
No,
And
Robbie
they-
Alapek does punk rock and ska
Yeah,
there.
but like twice a year.
Yeah, and they
Every
did have.
holiday.
It's like the majority.
and then the
of
other
They had
story
like a
of
you know,
it.
the
punk
other
metal
side
night.
has a couple shows, but is there anything else in Wilkes-Barre right now? I can't.
Carl Hall.
Well,
Carl
that's newer. I'm hoping that's going to be. But I mean, that's it, right?
I think we're starting to see a different resurgence now. You know, I think, like you said, there's ups and downs. You know, there was an era where everybody remembers it as a great time, and I think it was a slump for a little while. But I think the last couple of years, it's really starting to build back up.
Also,
so.
people's pockets are fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, the days of going out to a bar 3 or 4 days a week, because that was a kind of a regular back in the day.
Sure.
You know, and having that $100 or $75 a night to spend 4 times a week is not around anymore. People don't have it like that.
Yeah.
You're getting that person going out 1 day a week now and having the same amount of money they had for one night. And they have to figure out where they're going to spend that over the course of the week. You know, that $75 or $100 is now their entire week entertainment and and beer and whatever money. And
But also, the same people who were spending that money per week are now 35 years old, married with a child.
Yeah.
Right.
agreed.
You know, it's the
Absolutely.
21-year-olds that are supposed to.
Except for me, Brown, and Knack.
That's fine. We need you.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
We need you. But I mean, that's just how it is. Like the people who went out 4 days a week, and it was Mondays was this night, or Tuesday was old time Charlie's, Wednesday was. Fuck, I don't even remember.
Yes, exactly. That's my point, though.
Thursday was this night.
Every night you're like, oh, that's where I'm going. I don't know
Right.
what's going on there, but that's where I'm
that's where
going.
I'm
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what the Rattler had was, I don't know what's going on at the Rattler tonight, but I know it's probably going to be something kind of
Yeah,
cool.
or there's going to be somebody I can sit there and bullshit.
Yeah, I'm going to know someone.
I'm going to
there.
know somebody there no
Yeah,
matter
100%.
what. I can go there and I can hang out, even if it's putting shit on the jukebox, you know what I mean?
Hang myself with a
Play
post.
foosball, you know? Because that was all the kids from Wyoming area that went there, like a lot of them,
Yeah,
you know? And
sure.
I graduated from Wyoming area,
Sure.
so I knew, you know?
And Ragu asked Middle Mania at Mountain Sky, James.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. We're going to have a camp out at the end of the summer to talk about it if anybody wants to be on the crew, on the conceptual committee. We're going to just, no acts playing or anything like that. We're just going to go and camp on one of Mike's nights off. And once my season runs its course, we'll talk about getting it up there next summer.
Cool. Awesome. And Leslie Williams said these clicks can be added to regularly by bringing in various genres, though. I think so, too. I think there does need to be... I think, like the Irish Wolf, I think, has made a name for itself with the punk and metal crowd,
Agreed.
especially the metal crowd. I think they're becoming a more of a rock club than anything else, which is
and
great.
And because Peter and I are friends, we're not kicking each other in the balls. We
Right.
spoke to each other about what my project this summer. I was like, listen, I'm going to let you know when I'm doing metal shows so that...
And that's
So
an
he
important
doesn't
thing
try to
too. Is
compete.
not not booking
Why
at the
try to
same
split the
time or
crowd,
try to
it's
exactly.
crazy. I would even help him book something else. Like
Sure.
that was my suggestion was like, if you're not in touch with whatever. I'll help you get whatever you want, you know?
And you don't always have that. You know, some people are tough to deal with, so it's nice that you can't have that
I'm not saying
ability
that
to
people's
reach
not
out
tough
to
to
people.
Yeah, I'm not saying that no, I love him, but
No, but
He's tough to deal with in a crazy level. He's so all over the place.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
Peter.
he's
all right, you guys
He's
want to know?
so all over the
You
place.
guys want to
though.
hear a story?
yeah.
Yeah.
We played at the Irish Wolf Pub, and one of our songs is named "Knocked Out." We're playing "Knocked Out," and what happens, Rob?
Some motherfucker got knocked out.
By Peter Kelly. I'm playing my guitar. I'm playing my guitar, looking at my guitar, and all I see is some dude getting dragged out, and I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" They're like, "Yo, that dude got knocked out."
Peter knocked him
Yeah,
out.
Peter knocked us out. While we were playing our song titled "Knocked Out."
Listen, many of the bar owners from the Scranton area on the way down here are complete characters. Brian Craig is a complete 100% legit human being.
Nice.
You know, Vinny's got like a little secret door. Do you ever go in
There's porn in there.
Yeah.
There's like dicks and shit.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in there. Really, like I went in there.
yeah,
There's like
don't go in there.
whiskey from pre-prohibition and like shackles and a mattress. It was like a little like looked like Twin Peaks.
It's crazy.
Well, we do have to wrap up. We are over time, but I wanted to make sure we got everything in that we can. So let's get some final plugs in about some shows we have coming up and where people can find your music and all that good stuff.
Facebook.com, obviously, /Royal Hell. We're gonna, once we get this album done, we're gonna dump it on YouTube. Probably end up just giving it out for free because trying to sell your record is pretty pointless. But June 9th, Border Bar, Camp Rattler Beer Garden with Killcode, Idle Hands. Then we'll be back in July for the Metal Beach Party. That's going to be a great time. And then our next big show is September, opening up for DRI. And I have some crazy lines out there trying to get on that Slayer show, but
Right on.
a little wishful
Don't
thinking,
jinx
but
it.
keep trying, man. Keep plugging away.
Go to Facebook at Camp Rattler and go to events, and there's a huge array of summer events happening at Border Bar at the Camp Rattler Beer Garden.
Shout out to our sound man, Joe Yakelevich, if you're watching. Thanks for everything you
Shout out
did.
to my nephew, Zayden.
I know you're watching.
Doesn't say a word all night.
It's my godson.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate
Absolutely.
it,
Thank you for
guys.
having
I
us.
wasn't
We
expecting this to
appreciate it.
happen so
No,
quickly. That's
absolutely.
Nice one.
No, we're happy to have you. Spread the word. You know,
Yeah,
if you, I saw a lot of people tuned in tonight. Obviously, you guys had a good time, a lot of comments and stuff. Please share this when you're done. Share this with your friends. Let people know about the show. Continue to spread the word. We need your help just as much as all the independent bands and everybody else that we cover in the area. We need to get out there themselves. We don't pay for advertising, so everything's through word of mouth, through social media. So please help us out by sharing this and let people know about it. So. And if you don't already like the page, which I don't know why you would be watching the show this long, if you didn't like the page already, like the fucking page. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight.
Thank you, guys.
It was a good conversation. We'll see you next week.